It's a staring contest. Don't look away. If you do, you lose. Don't blink. If you do, you lose. Gabriel did a video like this a couple of years ago when he was younger. And some of you guys lost. Don't lose today. Don't lose. Don't. You blinked. You blinked too. Haha, you blinked. Smiley face wins. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, my extended family. It never fails. As soon as I hit the record button, you know my phone's going to go off. So I want to talk to you guys. Summer is closing for some people in the South and other districts, school districts around the nation. And there's a lot of concern about whether or not our children should return to school. And I am not here to tell you what you should do, if you should send your children to school or not. I will share some pros and cons to having your children go to school. Okay, and that's it. I'm not here to persuade you either way, because I see the benefits of both. Okay. Let's start off with the cons first. Cons. We're still in a pandemic, and there is no mention of there being a vaccine available to students and to staff, school staff, by the time school districts open, whether you open in the early days of August or in September. So there is absolutely no discussion yet of whether or not vaccines will be available. The way it looks, there will be no vaccines available. So you have to consider the risks of your children. Sorry, I'm like all over the place. Going to school. Maybe I should just hold on. Let's try this. Children going to school during a pandemic without a vaccination could be, it could be disastrous. Because when you have students in a room in close proximity with one another, things spread. Not just to teachers, but to each other. And it's not like there's like an option. Like when you're in class, when you're in a school building and you're in class, you can have anywhere from 12 to 30 students in a room in close proximity with one another. Also, a big thing in a lot of schools, in almost every school that I know of, is group work, where students are encouraged to work in small groups of 4 or 5 or 6, where they're working together in close proximity to do a project, read together, do an activity. So that's important to education. So we're in a pandemic and we're sending kids to school. Another thing is having to have the mask on all day. Now, let's be honest. If you have had to wear a mask, which we all have done, it's not the easiest to breathe in. It's not. We have students with asthma. We have students who are easily distracted. So there are things that's going to happen with the mask where they'll be playing with it. They'll get tired of it and take it off. And what kind of disciplines will be in place? What kind of behavioral remediation will be in place for students who don't want to wear their mask? Like, how do we physically force students to put on their mask or keep their mask on? Teachers should not, I do believe teachers should not be concerned about that. We shouldn't have to have that concern. And other students as well, or parents for that matter, right? So having the kids go to school definitely will heighten the spread of the disease if you're in a close proximity. There are things like restaurants that could be open, but they got to be open outside and stuff like that. You can't teach kids outside because the weather is extremely unpredictable, especially during the August, September, October, November months when there's hurricane season. And then after November, you're dealing with cold weather. Like how are we effectively going to have class outside when the weather is as unpredictable as it is? We can't predict the weather. I mean, from long distances. And even then, you can't really predict it accurately 100% of the time. So there are a lot of cons to, or there are a few cons to having a child go to school. But the biggest con is health. People still have, there's numbers out there and people are still like, well, kids recover at a higher rate and all that stuff. And that's like really crazy for politicians and government officials and school leaders to actually say, right? I kid you not. Listen. Well, if they catch the disease, they have a higher rate of recovery. So it's okay that I caught a disease. And who wants to catch a disease? Who wants to be infected by a disease? So it's like, okay, guys, you have to go to school. And if you catch it, the majority of you will recover. And the ones that don't, oh well, or they must have had an underlying condition. So we don't know if we have underlying conditions. That's why it's called, well, you may know, but not a lot of people don't know if they have underlying conditions, right? So I think that having a child go into the classroom in August or September when school starts is a gamble. So there is a con. The major con is the health and the wellness of your child, and the health and wellness of other children, and the health and the wellness of the staff working in the school buildings. Okay, that's number one. That's huge. Pros. Children learn better when they have the support of the teacher readily available to them and support of peers. Children work better when they have the support of peers and the teachers. Also, from the time your child enters pre-K, they are conditioned to be dependent on the teacher for learning. So when you put a child into a situation where they have to learn remotely and a lot of the work that they're doing is independent, if they haven't been taught or conditioned to learn independently, and they have been learning through explicit modeling from the time they entered pre-K to like 5th grade, it's challenging for students to just go into a remote learning setting and succeed because they've been conditioned to do the opposite. Now in the 6th grade, they start transitioning to being less dependent on teacher and more independent as learners. But unless they have that groundwork, going into remote learning could be disastrous for students who are conditioned to receive explicit modeling from teachers to learn a specific skill or a topic. So students do better in the classroom setting, okay? Second, socially. We're human beings. We were made to connect with people. We are community-based individuals. Yeah, I said that right. Where we thrive in community. We're individuals, yes, but we are individuals that thrive in community. And schools offer that community feel for students. It offers an element of socialization that helps children grow up to learn how to treat other people and how they would like to be treated themselves. So it's important. Third, I'm going to say it. There's a lot of students in a lot of school districts around the nation, the United States in particular, who cannot afford food. And allowing students to go to school will help make sure that they have at least 2 meals throughout the day. And it's breakfast and lunch. So, sorry for the half yawn. So, that's a pro of schools opening. Another pro is, and as a teacher, I miss my babies. I miss my kids. I want to have that connection with my students, because I miss them. I like seeing them. I enjoy being there as my students work, and I offer support, and then they get it. Like when the light turns on and they understand the concept, I am overjoyed. And that's more like a selfish reason, because like I like to see my kids do well. I like to see them succeed. I like to see them learn and grow in knowledge. That makes me feel good. So it's needed. But the main thing is that the pro, that children do better, students do better in elementary school settings at least. They do better with another yawn. I must be tired. I didn't sleep much last night, to be honest with you. I was laying in bed. I just didn't sleep all that much. So they do better when they have in-class instruction with the teacher and their peers. But then you got to ask yourself this question. Is the academic success of my child more important than the possibility of them getting affected with a disease, a virus? And it's a hard question for any parent to answer. I don't think that it's a question that politicians are necessarily asking themselves. But as a parent of my own, and I'll give you my opinion, but you don't have to go with it. This is just my opinion. This is not canon. This is not Bible. All right. I don't feel 100% comfortable with my child going to a school and being in close proximity with other people at this specific moment in time, because of the spread of a disease or a virus. And I would rather have my child learn remotely and increase his chances of not contracting the disease than go into a classroom, right, and get all the academic supports that he needs to be successful and risk catching a disease. But that's just me. What is your opinion? Leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. And again, like, it's okay for us to have different opinions. So what I don't want is for people to come at others for their opinion. You have your opinion, and that's fine. You have your opinion for a reason. I have my opinion for a reason. So let's be able to, if you read a comment that you don't agree with, let it fly. Leave your comment. Share what you think you would do if you're a parent, or if you are a parent in that situation. All right? Thanks so much for watching and bearing with me for the last couple of minutes like you always have done. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And until tomorrow at 10 a.m. Peace. Oh, wait. Like this video, subscribe, and all that good stuff, all right? Yeah, bell notification, all that. I forgot to say it. All right. Peace.